Your team needs to deliver more creative content in less time while making sure it's of the highest quality. But each piece of content needs to be reviewed and approved, which is a time-consuming and frustrating process. Ziflow, the only enterprise-grade collaborative proofing platform, makes it easy for your team to share a proof for review while maintaining control of the process to mitigate risk. Join me as we explore how Ziflow simplifies the review process, making it easy for anyone on your team to provide feedback on any creative asset. When I want to create a new proof, the first thing I'll do is hit New Proof and give it a name. I'll then drop in my file or files. Ziflow supports over 1,200 different asset types, including static, video, web banners, or even URLs for reviewing live websites. Ziflow will create individual proofs for each file, but you can also upload multiple files together to create a batch review. Once I drop the file in, I might want to include some notes for my reviewers in the proof brief section. Speaking of the reviewers, this is where I can build the workflow to automatically share the proof with people who need to review and approve this asset or assets. Now, I could go through and add each individual one by one, but Ziflow allows you to create workflow templates that will ensure you're following the correct process and that the right people will be invited in at the right time. In this template, we can see I've got a two-step workflow in place that starts with our internal review, then goes out to my client for feedback. In stage 1, you can see my colleague's been listed as a decision maker. There's also a deadline that was applied for a few days from now. Ziflow will send out reminders automatically for me around that deadline. When they approve the asset, it will automatically kick off the next stage and invite my client in for review. Teams that have more complex review and approval processes can add additional stages and triggers, as well as use other advanced settings like public and private comments, skip stage settings, and more. Now that I've set my workflow, I can go ahead and hit create and let Ziflow start to work for me in managing the review and approval process. Now, if I'm a stakeholder who's been invited to review an asset, I could be notified in a variety of ways. Here's an email that Ziflow sent to me, but the software can automatically send a link to a proof via Slack, Microsoft Teams, or any of the several locations where I'm most likely to see it. From here, all I have to do is click Open Proof, and I'll be launched into the Ziflow viewer. The first thing I'll see is the asset cleanly displayed on the page. On the right, I can see the brief pinned above the comment section. From here, all I need to know how to do is how to add a comment and ultimately make my decision. When I click to add a comment, I'm given a variety of markup tools. For example, I can point something out with an arrow, like a logo needing to be repositioned. Or I can draw attention to a specific item and call out that I'd like to change the color or size. In this instance, I want them to add the trademark symbol to my logo. I can also highlight text, and within that comment, I can tag my colleague with an @ mention to notify them that it's something that requires their attention. They can then come in and like my comment to acknowledge they've seen it, or reply to my comment in our collaborative discussion space. Once I've provided my feedback, I can go ahead and make my decision of approved, approve with changes or changes required. This example was a PDF, but the proof viewer experience is the same with the hundreds of other formats that Ziflow supports, whether it's videos, production files, rich media, live websites, and much more. At this point, we've followed the review and approval process of a typical creative project from creation to completion. Let's take a look at how you can use Ziflow to get a top-down view of all of your active creative projects and where they are in the proofing process. Right now, we're on my active proofs page in Ziflow's dashboard. We're currently in the grid view, which displays larger, clickable thumbnails for each proof. With this view, you can browse through your creative assets and get comprehensive looks at individual proofs. We also have a list view, which we can switch to by clicking the View Selector button in the top left. The list view can show me more specific details about individual proofs in a table-like format, including a slightly smaller thumbnail. You can see that my active proofs list is set up to show me information about the status of the proof, when it was created, the workflow the proof is following, how many decisions we've collected, and much more. And by using the Show menu, I can easily add, remove, or reposition columns in the list, customizing the view to meet my preferences. Now, I want to track feedback on an individual proof, so let's click into the Proof Details panel. This screen is designed to give a clear, centralized view of the proof's information and how it's moving through the workflow. On the first tab, I can see the workflow I created. In this case, our executive stakeholder review has passed its deadline. Specifically, I can see that stakeholder Dana hasn't made a decision yet, and they had until yesterday morning to give their sign-off. If I click over to the activity log, it shows me every event that happened on this proof, including comments, decisions, and even information about who's opened the proof and when. In our Emails tab, I can see every message that Ziflow has sent for this proof. I can even see the deadline reminders that were already automatically sent to Dana. Right from this Details panel, I can send them another notification to remind them of this deadline. Once they receive that email, they'll click the link, access Proof Viewer, leave feedback, and approve the asset. This video is only the tip of the iceberg, with innovative features that help you manage feedback and compare versions of an asset. Advanced automation that lets you wrangle the most complex workflows. Customizable checklists validated by our powerful ReviewAI, and multifaceted ways to integrate with your project management tools, cloud storage platforms, and creative applications. There's so much about our enterprise-grade collaborative proofing platform we could show you. If you're ready to free the flow of great content, go to Ziflow.com and connect with one of our product specialists who can give you a demo of our software that's tailored to your needs. Let your content flow with Ziflow.